Hi guys, welcome to Wicked Movie Channel, and this is the top 7 best movies about serial killers. Making this selection, we decided to take only the recent year's movies, leaving behind the films that everyone knows, such as Zodiac, Seven, Silence of the Lamb, Perfume, The Story of a Murder, Saw, and others. In our top, there are thrillers, detective stories, and horror movies. I think everyone will find a suitable film for themselves. We won't waste any time, so let's begin. Creep. A young guy named Aaron responds to an announcement looking for an operator for the day. The author of the ad, a man named Joseph, and when they meet, he said that he has brain cancer and he has only a few months left. So he wants to make a kind of video daily for his unborn son. Aaron agrees, but the more time he spent with Joseph, the more obvious it becomes that something is wrong with his client. The film is a little crumbled and in many ways imperfect, but nevertheless it's quite intriguing and in some places even decently scary. 7th place. Creep. I'm not a serial killer. John is an odd teenager with a difficult attitude towards death. Although it's not surprising when you consider that his mother runs a city funeral home and his father abandoned the family many years ago. When a series of strange murders begin in the city, the victims of which were found disfigured and without some organs, John begins to investigate, believing that this will help him better understand himself and his own sociopathy. The film was shot with an eye on the cinema genre of the 80s. Scary but aimed primarily at teenagers and actively exposing youthful maximalism and nihilism when it seems that the whole world is up in arms against you. The manner of shooting also refers to the 80s. It seems that the film was shot during the VHS era. If the 80s era is close to you, then you will definitely enjoy it. 6th place. I am not a serial killer. Beast. The red-haired girl Mal, brought up in a strict family, feels locked up in a small island where her whole life has passed. The feeling of alienation is aggravated by the fact that the others consider her strange and even dangerous, and her own mother doesn't allow her to breathe deeply. A meeting with the straightforward and independent Pascal changed Mal. The girl feels the power and finally becomes herself. Now she is free from the shackles and perhaps even leave the hated island forever. But on the way to the happiness of two lovers, there is a problem. A series of murders of girls sweeps across the island, and Pascal gets among the suspect. Not wanting to believe that she is meeting with a monster, Mal tries in every possible way to shoot her beloved in front of the police. But over time, the girl begins to feel that something terrible and evil is boiling inside herself. 5th place. Beast. Maigret set a trap. Commissioner Maigret is faced with a particularly difficult case involving the murder of several young women. To avoid new victims, the commissioner prepares the most risky trap, including the bait hook. This is another film adaptation of Detective Georges Simenon, which will appeal to fans of such works as Agatha Christie's Marple or Columbo, a classic detective story with leisurely plot. We also want to note that this is a TV project. Sometimes it seems that everything around is just scenery and strange, but this feeling quickly passes and doesn't interfere with viewing. Rowan Atkinson definitely implemented an atypical image for himself, a leisurely, laconic, and attentive commissioner. 4th place. Maigret sets a trap. The house that Jack built. It's the 70s or early 80s. Jack suffers from obsessive-compulsive disorder, mania for cleanliness and order around, and a bunch of other mental illness. From childhood wanted to be an architect, but became an engineer. He confesses to Verge about where this frustration has taken him, into the world of serial murders, where he has dealt with dozens of unlucky, stupid, and arrogant people for 12 years. Jack selects 5 illustrative cases from the Chronicle of Manic Adventures. We want to warn that for casual viewers who are not familiar with the work of eccentric Lars von Trier, it's better to pass the film. The naturalism and cruelty in the film are off the charts. And of course, the final part, with abstractions and metaphors, will not be to everyone's taste. Third place. The House That Jack Built. The Clove Hitch Killer. Several years ago, a small religious town was reeling from a series of murders of women. The maniac has not made himself left for 10 years. He was never caught, and now the community celebrates every year a day of remembrance for the victims of the killer. The teenager Tyler lives in a poor but friendly and happy family, and considers his father an ideal to follow. One day, the guy finds an obscene clipping from the magazine, and then a stack of publications and a photo of one of the victims in a magazine in his father's barn, which he keeps under the lock and key all the time. Having befriended a local girl obsessed with catching a serial killer, Tyler begins to study the details of those long-standing crimes to find out whether his father was involved in the murders or not. A great indie thriller, with a decent plot, growing suspense, and good action. Second place. The Clove Hitch Killer. Summer of '84. Mid-80s, a small suburb, a group of teenagers who are as different as possible from each other, but at the same time have common interests, spending their summer holidays together and play hide and seek at haunted night. Very terrible events are happening while a small town lives its own life. Someone kills the children, and the group of protagonists suspects a respected police officer next door. He lives his solitary life, has a bachelor day schedule, and he is a good-natured person. In the first act, the cinema is gaining momentum slowly. The personalities of the main characters are revealed. We are impressed in the every entertainment of teenagers, as well as in the family problems. Pleasant music in the background, which sets the mood. At some point, you even forget the genre of the cinema you are in front of. But already from the middle to the very end, the film turns into a real bloody detective thriller. First place. Summer of '84. Well, this is it. Thanks for watching. Share your movie impressions in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe and put the big thumbs up. See you. Bye.